morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are, whatever you are doing, welcome to another Twisted Tangents. And tonight we're going to be talking conspiracy theories.
Their spines had been cut and then he played with them like, a cat would play with a mouse.
To yell, your eyes, they turn solid black.
Join us in another Twisted Tangent.
That's a good way of starting it. Just a little bit of like eerie music, like some X-Files kind of.
Yeah, but
shit.
it'll just be me doing jingles
Yeah,
with
just
my
you,
mouth.
Yeah, just go.
I'll work on one for next week.
Get some like pigeon noises happening.
Oh God!
Wow, I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
Yeah, you're right. A little bit. I'm a little bit sorry. Anyway, conspiracy theories. There are lots of them out there. And I've been looking at conspiracy theories for as long as I can remember. I find them absolutely fascinating. So you have not really looked at conspiracy theories before, have you?
I have not very much delved into the world of conspiracy theories, nor am I too much a believer at this point in time. I guess I will take some convincing, but I guess I just need to research more, really.
Yeah, and that's what conspiracy theories are all about. So there's this a misconception that if you believe in conspiracy theories, you're a nutter, and that all started with it started. It's a conspiracy theory within itself. Whether it's true or not, I'm not sure. I wasn't alive, but during JFK, when he was assassinated, there was a lot of talk that it was the government that killed him because of what he was trying to do within the government. And the powers be said, nope, you can't do that, we'll have you killed. And Lee Harvey Oswald comes along, bang, dead. And so a lot of people started to question whether it was just one maniac wanted him dead, or whether it was actually the government that wanted him dead. So what I've been told and what I've read is that the government told all the newspapers to start putting a bad spin on the term conspiracy theory and conspiracy theorists, because all of the media outlets are putting a bad spin on that term conspiracy theory. Then everyone who believes in any form of a conspiracy theory, whether it's the moon landing being faked or whether it's JFK killed by the government or whatever it is, if you believe in a conspiracy theory, you are sort of automatically you're a bit of a nutter, and not exactly.
Some people
right.
do lend themselves well to it, though, don't they?
Oh yeah, no, 100%. There are definitely complete utter nutters. And they
like the ones who start wearing fucking tinfoil hats and shit.
Yeah. I swear to you, there are sane conspiracy theorists out there. Case in point, me.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, look, I like to think I'm somewhat sane. I'm not completely and utterly bonkers in my everyday life. Yet I do believe in some, not all conspiracy theories that I believe in, but there are definitely some I do.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So for this, obviously I'm going to be doing most of the talking, just to enlighten you and anyone listening about different conspiracy theories that are out there. And
I am going to speak, guys. Don't worry.
I'll try and keep that to a minimum, though.
Yeah, it's fair.
But so what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with what I consider to be the sort of the main conspiracy theory, the mother of all conspiracy theories, because this one, not only is it its own theory, but it also involves a bunch of other conspiracy theories in it. So it involves 9/11. It also involves JFK. It also involves Abraham Lincoln. Like, there's a bunch of conspiracy theories within this one. I'm not going to delve into those ones too much. I'll just kind of gloss over them. But this is the conspiracy that the Rothschild family basically own the entire world.
Dun, dun, dun.
maybe I'll have to get some music happening right there. Boom, boom, boom. I don't know. Maybe I'll see what I can do. So we need a little bit of history here about who the Rothschilds are. So this one goes all the way back to 1744, when... Now, I'm probably going to completely butcher these names. They are Jewish names. I am not Jewish. So, I'm doing my bastardized Australian accent version of all of these. So, if they're completely and utterly wrong, shut up. So, Mayer Amschel Rothschild, born 1744 in a Jewish slum of Frankfurt. Not much is known about his early life, as his was one of tens of thousands of marginalised outcast families. But once he came of age, he became an apprentice at a small bank in Hamburg, where he learned the trade. So he's a banker, which is kind of everything about the Rothschilds is finance and banking. Because how else do you earn this much money? Which you will find out soon. Anyway, returning to Frankfurt at the age of 19, he offered his own banking services in a modest way, beginning with trading of rare coins and related investments. He was energetic, clever, and most of all, he was charismatic. And he was smart, seeking out wealthy clientele and associating with nobility wherever he could. By the age of 40, he'd consolidated his most important business contact, the Landgrave William Elector of Hesse, one of only a tiny number of nobles empowered to elect the Holy Roman Emperor. When William was younger, he had engaged in the trading of rare coins with Mayer's father. So the two had always known one another. When William inherited his own father's massive fortune, his friendship with Mayer Rothschild gave Mayer the ability to begin conducting larger international transactions. This was the point at which the Rothschild's name became first involved with the manipulation of money behind the scenes of wars. Mayer was a firm believer in family business and insisted on using his own sons, by then he had 5, as his business partners. What he did next became the model for many powerful Jewish financiers who followed. He installed each of his 5 sons as his agents in the 5 major financial centres of Europe. The eldest, Amschel Mayer Rothschild in Frankfurt, Solomon Mayer Rothschild in Vienna, Nathan Mayer Rothschild in London, Kalman Mayer Rothschild in Naples, and the youngest, Jacob Mayer Rothschild in Paris. Now this I'm taking from someone called Skeptoid, who has done all of the research for me. So that is a direct quote from Snopes.com, because I'm not going to be doing that kind of research. Now, that's how the Rothschilds started.
Yeah.
And could you call? I'd call it the Rothschilds dynasty. It's a dynasty. It's bigger than the Kardashians. Let's be honest. I know the Kardashians would probably scream if they were told that, but you know what? It's fucking true. Because I don't know what the Kardashians are worth. Probably a few $1 million. But the Rothschild family has amassed with great wealth since the 1700s, claims that they have a net worth of $500 trillion, or that they own 80% of the world's wealth. That is ridiculous. Now, they say that the world's total wealth is around $250 trillion. So, there's a bit of indiscrepancies there. How do the Rothschilds own double what the world owns? I believe that $500 trillion is probably not going to be solely money. I believe that to be assets as well. So they've probably got a hell of a lot of assets going from the 1700s right through to now, and having such a big family as well. So yeah, there you go. That's kind of where the Rothschilds started off, and now they own all the central banks in the world are owned by the Rothschilds. So there's, as of the year 2000, there were 7 banks that they didn't own. So they didn't own Afghanistan, and they didn't own Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Libya. Did I say Sudan already? North Korea. And anyway, so the year 2000, you've got Afghanistan is the first one on their list that they want to get to.
Yeah.
And they can't just waltz on in with an army and go, this is now our bank, thank you. Because there's going to obviously naturally be a massive, massive uproar from the entire world. So what do? 9/11. That's how 9/11 happens. So the Rothschilds need a puppet, and that puppet they decide is going to be America, as America have the not the largest army, but like the most resources at their disposal.
Yeah.
So, they get they need something massive to happen that is going to turn the entire world against Afghanistan. So they then have 9/11 happen. And because, you got George W. Bush in power at the time. A dude who struggles to put a fucking sentence together, for Christ's sake. So, he's very easily manipulated. I'd be interested to see what his actual IQ is. Because I don't know, I just don't see it being all that high.
He's probably actually got strings tied to his hands or something.
Yeah. Oh, look, he probably does. So...
Also, in case you're wondering, the Kardashians, as a collective, including Bruce, I'm calling him Bruce, is
Brucey boy.
Somewhere in the range of about 700 to 800 million. So they're not even billionaires collectively.
And that's collectively.
That's
as
collectively.
Well. Wow, how many of them are there? There's quite a few, isn't there?
1, 2, 3.
Boom, boom, boom.
I think there's about, I don't know, 6 or 7.
Yeah, so this is more your area of expertise.
Yeah,
more than mine.
kind of.
Yeah, well, look, to be fair, I don't really know why they're famous in the first place, other than Kim Kardashian had sex and her mother then exploited it. That's about all I know that they're famous for.
Well,
but
their dad was the famous lawyer, obviously. Yeah.
But no one really hears about him.
No, of course not, because they've all got giant asses in the media.
They've all got plastic surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I can't stand that. But, okay, so back to the conspiracy. So, Afghanistan needs to be taken over, and Iraq needs to be taken over as well. So, 9/11 happens, and the American government go, look, Muslims, terrorists, bad.
Yeah, everyone goes,
yeah,
bad countries.
Okay, I'm not deterring away from the fact that 9/11 was a horrible, horrible thing to happen. I'm not saying that it wasn't. I'm not saying that no one actually died. A couple of buildings were demolished. It was orchestrated by the government. That's what I'm saying. And so the world is now looking at the Middle East and the Muslim religion, saying everything about this is horrible, and it's still going on today.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of backlash against Muslims.
Yeah,
and I know not all Muslims are like that. It's only a very small minority that are these extremists. But this is where it all kicked off. So America then launched an attack on Afghanistan in retaliation for 9/11. And slowly, Afghanistan gets taken over. Iraq, same thing happens there. So by the end of 2003, Afghanistan and Iraq are now controlled by the Rothschilds. Now that leaves Sudan and Libya. Okay, so now you've got Sudan and Libya. Everyone's still sort of reeling from 9/11, and so the UN are now the puppet. So it's sort of trying to do it in a more polite way, a nice way of doing it, rather than, holy crap, these countries have just launched a massive attack. on the Western world, they send the UN in. The UN go and they just, put their presence on absolutely everything in these two nations. And slowly, over a couple of years, everything just comes apart. Rothschilds, bang, they now have control over the central banks. So there is 4 of the 7 countries that they needed control over. That leaves North Korea, Iran, and Cuba that still aren't under the control of the Rothschilds. And also with Iraq, Saddam Hussein. This is another conspiracy theory that's thrown in there.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, they say Saddam Hussein he was privy to what was happening, and he was trying to put an end to it. And then they obviously.
So that's why he was the dude.
Yeah, that's why he was the dude, like one of the number one. I don't know if he was number one or he was definitely in the top 10 most wanted people in the world for the American government.
Yeah.
And some people say this is why, because he knew what was happening to his country and he did not want that to happen. So again, there's what's that, like 4 conspiracies that are thrown into this big one. So you got North Korea, Iran, and Cuba. Cuba is next on the list. Now they decide to take another tact, and Barack Obama is now the president of the United States, and they try to befriend Cuba. That's how they're going to get their way in there. Rather than trying to launch an attack, they're going to try and rekindle a relationship between America and Cuba, so then the Rothschilds can then move in. So I'm just going to play here. This is a speech from Barack Obama from the December 17th, 2014.
Good afternoon. Today, the United States of America is changing its relationship with the people of Cuba. In the most significant changes in our policy in more than 50 years, we will end an outdated approach that for decades has failed to advance our interests, and instead, we will begin to normalize relations between our two countries. Through these changes, we intend to create more opportunities for the American and Cuban people and begin a new chapter among the nations of the Americas.
All right, so instead of using force, the US are now befriending the countries that the Rothschilds want to take control of.
The whole you catch more flies with honey than vinegar thing.
Yeah, that's it. So now we move on to North Korea. Yeah, everyone knows what. But this started, do you remember, I'm not sure what year it happened, where Sony Pictures was hacked and had a bunch of movies released?
Yeah.
That was...
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Yeah, that was a huge thing for America.
Yeah.
And that was pinned on North Korea. They said North Korea hacked Sony Pictures and released all these movies, costing them God knows how much money.
Why would they want to do that, though?
I don't know, but that's where it all stemmed from.
Yeah.
And it's just escalated from there. And so currently, this is obviously this is a very, very lengthy process for the Rothschild family. But
doesn't really matter to them, though. They just sit back and let the billions roll in.
Yeah, well, that's it. So they're working on North Korea. They've got Trump in there at the moment, who is probably, he's very money orientated as a human being. Incredibly intelligent.
He's a prime puppet.
He is definitely. He's a very intelligent businessman, and I think that's one thing that they're going to look at and love about him.
Well, he's definitely a prime puppet for them, being so money orientated and then being so filthy rich.
Yeah,
they can just go, here you go.
Yeah, definitely. So on the news, it looks like Donald Trump is trying to mend the relationship with Kim Jong-un. Whether he actually is trying to mend that relationship or not, who knows? But I don't know, maybe it's going to take Kim Jong-un dying and them not to be such a closed-off nation, And that's what's going to be for the Rothschilds to move in and take over. And then that leaves Iran left. So I'm not sure if anything's currently happening with Iran at the moment or whether that's going to be the next big thing. So, yeah, there's the Rothschilds conspiracy.
I think Kim Jong-un just needs to be assassinated. Not for the Rothschild to take over, just purely for the fact is so the country stops being a bit of a dick.
Yeah, definitely. He needs to just relax and let his people do what they want. They need to be able to leave the country, go on a holiday outside and come back. Use the internet. Yeah, use the internet. It's such a glorious, wonderful thing. I mean, they've got the internet, but I think it's just for him, basically.
Yeah.
It's Kim Jong-un's internet.
I think it's so heavily censored that it's not even worth.
No, it definitely would. And it'd be filled with that much propaganda as well. The only sites you'd be able to get onto would be propaganda websites.
Kim Jong's MySpace.
No, it'd be his Pixo account.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, shit. So
there's the mother of all conspiracy theories right there.
yeah, that's what I consider it to be, the mother of all. Purely because it encapsulates so many other conspiracies.
Yeah.
So on our Instagram page, we will be putting up photos of the Rothschilds. Jacob Rothschild, who I presume to be named after the first Jacob Rothschild from the 1700s. Jacob Rothschild looks like Monty Burns from The Simpsons. Look, we're looking at a photo of him now. I'll put it up on our Instagram. It's fucking it's.
Do you reckon they based the character?
Oh, look, it wouldn't surprise me. The Simpsons have been so fucking spot on with so much stuff.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah, like they call it, 10, 15 years. Like they call Donald Trump being the president.
That's
and
some Nostradamus shit right there.
Yeah, 100%. Their modern day Nostradamus is the Simpsons. Matt Groening is modern day Nostradamus. If you want to know what's going to happen in the future, watch The Simpsons. Don't go to a fortune teller. Don't go to a psychic. Watch The Simpsons. And that'll tell you what you need to know. But there's the clip of Donald Trump on The Simpsons going down the escalator waving, and you got people in the background holding signs and stuff when he's elected president. And then there's actually a clip of Donald Trump after he was elected president going down an escalator waving with people in the background holding signs. Like it's eerily the same.
Yeah.
It's creepy. Whether they actually just set that up, went, oh, it happened on The Simpsons. Let's set that up. Let's do it.
I highly doubt that.
I highly doubt it as well, but it's yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. So that I'd believe to be the mother of all conspiracies. Now, I'm going to move on to. I'm not sure if this is. Surely there'd be a number of Australian conspiracies. This is probably the main Australian conspiracy, and it revolves around the massacre in Port Arthur that led to our gun laws that we have today. So back in 1996, the government wanted to tighten gun laws and take away fully automatic and semi-automatic weapons. But I believe it was the Premier of New South Wales, I think, said it would take a massacre to be able to bring these laws in. I can't remember if it was a few weeks, a few months, whatever it was. I remember it wasn't a long time since that comment was made and the massacre happened.
Yeah.
So already, straight away, it's sus as shit. That is just a short time gap between, there'd have to be a massacre for us to change our gun laws. Boom, massacre happens. Now the government can go, all right, cool, hand in all of your fully and semi-automatic weapons. It now takes 28 days for all the background checks to be done for you to actually get a weapon. You don't get one on the spot. And they did a buyback scheme where you hand in your guns, the government gives you money for it. And some 700,000 weapons were turned in.
Yeah, 'cause everyone loves money.
Yeah. Obviously, there's a lot of backlash from gun nuts. I'm calling gun nuts. I hate guns. Gun nuts were, oh, you can't take away our guns. It's a right, and yada, yada, yada. But now, no one cares. Like, there are still people...
because people aren't dying every day.
Yeah.
Like, they are, but not, like, to such an extent that they are in America.
Yeah, you don't, like... If there is a shooting on TV where, 2 people die, we're like, holy crap, you're kidding.
Yeah.
Whereas...
When we hear just anyone, if just one person's been shot on the news, we're like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
People are getting shot.
Yeah. Whereas over in America, where the gun laws are non-existent...
You hear gunshots in the street and you roll over and go back to sleep.
Yeah. If you hear a gunshot, you're going to open your window and go, shut the fuck up and try to sleep. And you go back to bed. Like, it's nothing.
Yeah.
Over there. You're like, oh, someone got killed. Someone shot again. Okay, cool. But over here...
Not saying it's not a tragedy, guys.
No, definitely not.
Just putting the facts out there.
Just saying, change your gun laws, dipshits.
Yeah, it's pretty shit, man.
Yeah, how many massacres is it going to take before America go, you know what, maybe guns are bad?
Guns are bad, okay.
They're probably never going to say that.
Nah, never.
But, so, this is one that I believe to be a conspiracy. I've seen enough stuff.
I've actually never heard of this conspiracy theory before, which is weird because, as you said, there probably aren't that many Australian conspiracies. And, like, it's such a big one. Like, I definitely remember the case, but I didn't know there was a conspiracy about it.
Yeah, no, it was covered up pretty well, I'll be honest. But, there's a lot that I've noticed. This is weird. And it starts off with Martin Bryant, who is the gunman. I use that term extremely loosely.
Air quotes.
Yep. He has an IQ of 66, so he's got the IQ of a 10-year-old child. Now, how does a man with an IQ of a 10-year-old child orchestrate the death of 35 people in a day? It's already super shaky.
I mean, that would, as an adult, would probably make him like legally mentally disabled.
Yeah.
Having an IQ of that degree.
Yeah, look, it probably would. And this day and age, if your IQ is that low, you probably get off most stuff. What you do, you probably get off, because I don't know if can you differentiate the difference between right and wrong with that kind of an IQ?
Well, I mean, the actual legal age for convicting a person is 10. So if you are under 10, you get off because that is the legal age of knowing right and wrong. Can't remember what the word is.
Your mental capacity.
I think it's Dolly Incapat or something. I remember it from legal studies. But yeah, that is the legal age. So if you had a mental capacity of 10 or under, there is no way you could be charged.
Yeah.
It'd be like, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say here, but it's just like...
Yeah. Yeah. So...
My brain's not working tonight either. Good.
So that is already the start of where it's fishy.
He'd be like the guy from Making a Murderer, Brendan Dassey.
Yeah, definitely. He'd be very easily persuaded. Extremely. If someone said, here's a gun, shoot over that way, he'd probably just go, okay, bang, 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 kill, I don't know, however many people, and be like, what did I do? Probably wouldn't have a clue what's happened.
He'd be like, what now?
Yeah.
I mean, I know our kids are very easily persuaded.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So you've got to think, this man has the mind of a child.
Yeah, he does. He's a child. But it gets weirder.
Of course it does. Why would it stop there?
So this happened on a Sunday. Now, 2 hours before it happened, 10 of the senior managers of Port Arthur were taken to safety miles and miles away up the east coast of Tasmania for a 2-day seminar. There was no visitors, like no speakers at this seminar, no agenda. It was like, all these important people of the town. Off you go. Like, it just seems a little bit weird. Could be sheer coincidence as well. But this one, they say that it was possibly Bryant that organised this. With an IQ of 66, I find it very hard to believe. There was a phone call to the police about a heroin drug stash up a coal mine at Saltwater River, which is, I don't know, a 35-minute drive from Broad Arrow Cafe, where the massacre happened. So they're called out that way just before the shooting happened. So they're gone. The only 2 police officers are gone.
Yeah.
Turns out it was a wild goose chase. The heroin turned out just to be soap powder. So it's obviously taken someone with a decent mental capacity to call in something that's decent to get the only 2 coppers in town away. Could Martin Bryant do that? I personally, no, I don't think he could.
Well, even even you would have to know. You would have to know what heroin looks like and what you could gauge it against and what you could use as a decoy and blah, blah, blah. Like, even me with, I'm going to say probably an average mental capacity, I don't know what heroin looks like off the top of my head. No. I wouldn't know what to compare it to. So I could not imagine that Martin Bryant would be orchestrating this massive decoy.
No. And again, that's another thing that could be just sheer coincidence.
Mate, there's no coincidence in conspiracy theories. Let's be honest here.
This is the one that kind of almost pretty much sold it for me. Before the massacre, there was a specially built 22-person mortuary truck. It was built in Tasmania. If you don't know Australia, pause this, have a look at a map of Australia. Tasmania is a little tiny bit of land down the bottom.
Tasmania is our merkin.
Yeah. Like, if you're going to build this giant mortuary truck with a capacity of 22 bodies, you would be building it on the mainland.
I'd say you'd be either building it in Melbourne or in Sydney, like the 2 biggest places.
Yeah, definitely. You would not be building it in Tassie. But it was built in Tassie. And a lot of people are like, why would you need a mortuary truck to fit 22 people in it?
Yeah,
That's
what are you
ridiculous.
preparing for?
Yeah. Oh, look, here's a massacre with 35 dead. Oh, how convenient. We've got a 22-person truck here that we can put them into. And everyone's like, oh, actually, you know what? That's a fucking good idea.
Yeah.
So that was just brilliant. And everyone loved it because of that. But after the massacre, they tried to sell this truck. They advertised it. No one wanted it. So they repurposed it.
Because what the fuck would you use it for?
Yeah. Other than a mortuary truck, that's all it can be used for. They couldn't sell it, so they repurposed it.
Party bus.
Well,
everyone just has to lay down in the back.
They ended up repurposing it. So they didn't keep it around. They built it. The massacre happened. Then it was repurposed into something else. I'm not sure what it was repurposed into, but straight after the massacre, it was repurposed. It's built just before, destroyed just after.
Yeah, right.
Why? Why would you... That to me is just fucked. Like, they're not even trying to be subtle at this point.
Yeah.
So, and then they were getting witness statements identifying who the gunman was. No one actually identified Martin Bryant as the gunman. So if you look, we'll have it on our Instagram, a picture of Martin Bryant. He is very smooth-faced. Like, there's no, like...
Yeah, he's got beautiful, clear skin.
Yeah.
Like long blonde hair. Kind of looks a bit surfy.
Yeah. Well, it's 96, so, it's kind of the...
Everyone was a surfer.
Yeah,
Or had the surfer look.
Yeah. So there was a young woman who ate her lunch near the gunman. I'm not going to call him Bryant, because it wasn't him. She ate lunch near the gunman just before 1:30, and she said that he had a freckled face, which is not Bryant at all. No freckles on his face. Graham Collier, who is an ex-soldier, he was shot in the neck during all of this, and he said that the gunman had a pock-marked or acneed face, which again does
That's
not him at all.
it's definitely not Brian.
And he said that Bryant did not shoot him in the neck. What more proof do you need than one of the victims saying, no, it wasn't him? What more proof do you want?
Yeah.
So this is all happening. They're getting their witness statements. They haven't gotten all of the witnesses to identify who the gunman was yet. So on the 30th of April, whilst everything's still happening, the Hobart Mercury, which is their local newspaper, printed an old photo of Martin Bryant on their front page, which is illegal because the police haven't done all of their investigations. They haven't questioned all the witnesses or anything.
Yeah.
And so this has gone out into the paper. Paper's gone out to the public, obviously. The witnesses have seen it and gone, oh my God, look at him. And then when the police come around and get the descriptions from the witnesses, they begin describing the photo. They don't describe who the gunman was. They describe Bryant in the photo. They describe the clothes that he was wearing in the photo, how he looked in the photo, which is not obviously what he was wearing on the day of this all happened. So that is illegal. Nothing happened. They should have been shut down. They should have had some kind of legal action taken against them.
Yeah, definitely.
Nothing. They just, that's fine, cool, whatever. Not to worry about it.
Whoops.
Yeah. Now this is fucked up. There's a nurse. She's a nurse, a tour guide, and an ambulance officer named Mrs. Wendy Skur. She called the police at 1:32 to report the shooting, and her and other medics then cared for the injured and the dead without any police protection for, it says here, 6.5 hours. I've also read that police didn't turn up until 4:30 to the cafe.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of, a couple of different times, but
still a long
time
considering the fact that there's some gunmen on a rampage.
Yeah, you'd be sending every single person down there. And the armoured police that were ordered to go down there apparently stopped for a barbecue at Tirana. I'm not sure where that is, but it's clearly not where it fucking happened. And the police who arrived by boats were a stone's throw away from the main crime scene, being Broad Arrow Cafe. And they too failed to come in to see what was going on.
Yeah, right.
So why did the police not respond instantly? Why did they take their sweet ass time to get there? Why? Because it was the police doing the shooting. It was specially trained police officers shooting, which I will go into shortly. But Martin Bryant left Broad Arrow Cafe, grabbed a car, filled up with petrol. I believe he shot someone there, kidnapped someone, and then went over to, they call that the Seascape, which I believe is a hotel, and he was holed up in there for a while. That's where he had a hostage situation and a standoff with the police, where some 200 odd shots were fired from the Seascape at the police officers, but not a single shot was fired into the Seascape. Not one shot.
200 shots were shot out of the Seascape.
Yeah. Yeah, some 200 odd shots were fired out towards the police officers.
Jesus.
There was a conversation between a police officer and Martin Bryant that was recorded. So they've gotten him on the phone. You can hear this online. It's readily available, and they're talking to Martin Bryant, and he is telling them, first off, he wanted to be called Jamie for some reason. I don't know why. Don't know if that's actually a thing that's worth mentioning, but it was. It happened. Thought it was interesting. Martin Bryant told the police that there was a sniper with infrared on, I believe, the northeast side of the building, closing in, and he said, "Tell him to back away. He's going to shoot your main man." Was he referring to himself being the main man? Or he's saying your main man? So the police's main man. So it was there. I believe that there was someone else in there with him. With him and the hostages. He was as much a hostage as everyone else. Because when he is on the phone, as he's talking, he's midway through talking on the phone, you can hear gunshots going off in a different room. There's no way he could be doing that.
Yeah, well, if it's supposed to be him that's doing all the shooting.
Oh, he was... Yeah, they portrayed him to be the lone gunman. It was him and only him, no one else. And you can hear gunshots going off, and they went, "Oh, no, that's this person coughing." No. It's not... I've listened to it. It's out there. It is not a cough.
I have to admit, I have shot a gun. I have shot guns in my lifetime. Always safe at like abandoned quarries and shit under supervision with my dad and all his shooter mates from his club that he used to be in. And like shooting a gun is a fucking huge thing, man. It's not just like, it's not like you picking up a toy gun and pressing the trigger and it just, making the sound effect and it does the thing. Like, it's a really big thing. It takes a lot of thought. It takes a lot of effort. Like, it really takes it out of you because of how tense you are and everything while it's happening. For one person to do that much shooting is a joke. Like, that's an actual joke.
And he killed 20 at the cafe within the time span of 90 seconds. 20 people were killed by headshots.
Was he supposed to have like a bloody...
He's not a... He has said he is not very good with a gun.
What gun was it? Do you know?
Not entirely sure. But I do believe it was some form of like a... I know he used an array of guns.
Yeah.
He walked in. He sat down, put his bag. He had a duffel bag full of guns and ammunition. Put that down. He had breakfast. He had a coffee, and opened up and started firing.
Apart from somebody being like a skilled, trained shooter, the only way I can think of somebody actually being able to pull that off is just opening fire with a machine gun and just fanning it around the room.
Yeah, and then if they're doing that, you're going to have a lot of off-spray, it's going to be carnage, and you're not going to be able to kill 20 people with headshots by doing that.
No,
people
definitely
are going to be
not.
shot in the arm, people are going to be shot in the legs, the feet, body, torso, like everywhere.
Yeah.
And it was very precise. From the witnesses that were there on the day that it happened, they have said it was very precise, and it was just, it happened, gun came out, bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, that's
how it went down.
That's really hard.
For a gunman who has done years upon years of training to be able to kill 20 people in the span of 90 seconds with headshots is, like, that's just phenomenal.
That's like sniper quality shit.
Yeah. And a sniper's a one shot from a distance.
Yeah.
This is 20 people.
Yeah, this is like that's
Yeah.
trained gunmen.
Yeah, and there's few people in the world that would be able to have that kind of accuracy in that short amount of time span with that kind of chaos. Because as soon as one gunshot goes off inside this tiny little cafe, people are going to be scrambling.
Yeah.
There's
Because I
this
mean, even
pandemonium.
after watching shooting competitions in the flesh happening, it's so hard.
Yeah. So for someone who's not been trained, it's an impossibility to be able to do that. Sure.
Especially
It
somebody
could.
with his IQ.
Yeah, sure, it could. Technically speaking, yes, it could happen. He could just get super lucky 20 times in
Mate,
a
that'd
row.
be a fucking miracle and a half.
Well, yeah. To be able to headshot 20 people in 90 seconds. Like, yeah, it's like 0.0000000 recurring for God knows how many years. 1% chance that it could actually happen.
Yeah.
So, and whilst Bryant was at Seascape, there were 3 shots fired at the cafe. He's on the phone. They've got him tied down at the Seascape, yet there's gunshots going off at the cafe. Wasn't him, which means that's proof right there that there was another shooter.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't know. Like the police aren't going to go around shooting. They're going to go, well, you're pretty badly wounded. I'm just going to put you out. Bang, and kill him.
Like a horse.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, there's a forensic seminar in Queensland where the Tasmanian Police Forensic Gun Inspector Jared Dutton gave a lecture, and there's a question that come from a Mr. Ian McNiven, and he asked if there was any empirical evidence to link Martin Bryant to the Broad Arrow Cafe, and Sergeant Dutton quickly closed off the 15-minute question time and wouldn't reply. And then, so obviously McNiven's, he said, I have here Graham Collier's police statement, who's the ex-soldier shot in the neck.
Yeah.
And Sergeant Dutton threatened to arrest him and called for security agents to escort McNiven out of the building. Now, when Dutton was asked the exact same question in America by a doctor at a seminar, he replied truthfully this time, and all he said was there is no empirical evidence to link Bryant to the cafe. So they've got the duffel bag that he carried the guns in sitting there. He didn't take that with him. They've got the coffee cup. They've got his knife and fork. They've got all this stuff that's going to have his DNA on it, his fingerprints on it.
Everything. The plate, the chair.
Yeah. Didn't test any of it. Didn't actually physically link him to the cafe.
Yeah.
Why? So, again, that's another thing that, like, he confessed there was no trial or anything. They got his confession through. He ended up for 5 months. He was in solitary confinement because he said it wasn't me. He had a lawyer who said no, he's not guilty. We are going to fight this. It was not him. 5 months I had him locked up. He then ended up getting a lawyer, John Avery, who was for the prosecution, suddenly went over to Martin Bryant. They took him out of 5 months of solitary confinement, and John Avery said, plead guilty. And after, I think it was about 2 weeks of John Avery saying, you need to plead guilty to this, make this go away, plead guilty, Martin Bryant eventually said that he was the one that did it. Like, if that's not sus...
Yeah.
And there's testimonials from police officers who served in the police force down in Tasmania and actually worked this case that said Martin Bryant is innocent. There are police officers that say he did not do it, and they actually give names as to who it was that did it.
Yeah.
So, it's just so much stuff that just points to him being innocent, and there's no inquest into this either. It's been 22 years since this happened. There's not been a single inquest into it. And Brian's mother even says he's innocent.
Yeah.
Originally, she said, "No, he did it. He did it. It was him," because that's what he was telling her. And then he said, after a while, he goes, "I didn't do it." And she's obviously believing her son.
Yeah, of course.
And a lot of people are ripping on her, saying, "Why are you changing? Why are you doing this?" And she's like, "Because he's innocent. He didn't do it." So, according to the official story, Bryant first killed David and Sally Martin at Seascape Cottage in the morning, and then he went on to Port Arthur, where this all happened. Yet there were 2 policemen reported seeing a naked woman with black hair screaming and running from one building to another at Seascape well into the afternoon. So who was it? If Sally Martin's dead, why is there a naked black-haired woman running in the buildings? Like, who the hell is that? They don't know. No one knows who she is. Yeah, and it's just something that's just weird. But there is actually proof of the other government. There's
Gunmen.
the other gunmen. I think they said there's about 5 gunmen all up. Not Martin Bryant. 6 if you want to include him. I don't believe he has anything to do with this at all. So, back onto the seminars case here. There were another 2 seminars.
How many seminars is Hobart going to have?
Oh, look, for the small state that it is, a lot. Apparently, this time in '96 was a very popular time for seminars. So there were 2 more seminars. On the Sunday morning that this happened, there were 25 specialist doctors from the Royal Australian College of Surgeons from all over Australia. They had attended a training course in Hobart. Their last lecture was on terrorist attacks and gunshot wounds.
Oh, what
How
a
convenient.
fucking coinky-dink.
Yeah, it's so convenient. So obviously they stayed on to take care of the wounded victims. A terrorist attack and gunshot wounds on the last day. Boom. Here, let's put all of your training into practice right now. So that's super suspicious. And
That's the government trying to save their own ass.
oh yeah, definitely.
Just going, maybe if we have these people here, they can save them and they won't die, but we can still get the gun laws changed.
Yeah. Well, they had to have a bunch of people die, because if people survive, then they're going to be going, "What? No, it wasn't him. He didn't shoot me."
Yeah.
Like Collier did. Not that he was believed, apparently. But there are also more than 700 reporters from 17 nations that came to another seminar in Hobart. They were asked to arrive during the weekend because the seminar was on Monday morning. So they've got 700 reporters there just as all this happens. They're doing all of their reports to spread the anti-gun and disarmament propaganda to the entire world.
Yeah.
So, I shouldn't say propaganda, because it was a good thing that the gun laws came into effect.
Of course.
Definitely a good thing. But, they've got 700 reporters there going, "Oh my God, mass shooting in Tasmania, Australia. They're now banning guns." And this thing just instantly goes fucking worldwide.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
This is really interesting.
yeah, and the Deputy Prime Minister Tim Fischer in May of '96 said, "If this is a quote, if we don't get it right this time, gun laws, next time there is a massacre, and there will be, then they'll take all our guns off of us." Come on. Who's he talking about with they? with removal of our guns. So did he let it slip? Did he accidentally? Because it's happened before where the government have accidentally said something like that and got, oh, I was not supposed to say that till next week.
Like Tom Holland giving out movie spoilers left, right, and centre.
Yeah, like Tom Holland. He's a little bit more innocent. So did he let it slip? Gun that was going to happen? I don't know. But it's just remarkable that
there are far too many coincidences.
Yeah, and also
far too many.
And another thing to completely and utterly separate Martin Bryant from all of this, he's left-handed. The gunman shot from the hip, right-handed. I don't think you're left-handed. If you were to pick up a gun,
I shot left-handed.
Yeah, you wouldn't pick it up and shoot from your hip right-handed.
No, because my dominant arm and my strong arm is my left arm, so I'd always pick it up from the left because guns are fucking heavy.
Yeah.
And I'd always support with the right. That's always the way I shot.
Yeah.
So it's ridiculous.
Exactly. Yeah, but apparently that doesn't matter. And also with firing a weapon that many times, there's going to be hearing damage as well, because you're right at the gun and you're shooting bang 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 bang.
Yeah.
It's going to affect your hearing. Martin Bryant had no hearing loss whatsoever. Nothing wrong with his hearing.
Yeah. I mean, we always used headphones, like earmuffs, but it was so loud, even with the earmuffs on.
Yeah. Well, they say that what the theory is that the gunman had the earmuffs on and then a blonde wig over the top to simulate.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Hence,
how stupid would that look?
Yeah, that's what the witnesses have said. That he had the earmuffs on.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, it's just there's just so many different things that point to Martin Bryant had absolutely nothing to do with this whatsoever. Like he wasn't there when the first gunshot went off. I think he was about 30 minutes away from the cafe. Like there's just so many different things. And his confession, there's like 20 to 30 second clips online.
Yeah, his confession is so dodgy.
Yeah, like it was videotaped. Why is and they've let out bits and pieces of his confession tape. So why wouldn't they just go, oh, here's the entire thing from start to finish. There you go. It's in the public domain now.
Yeah,
because they're covering shit up.
Yeah.
And that's what the media do. The media will distort things to fit their agenda.
Yeah, of course.
So, I mean, there's so many people that have been on... Like, there's a guy that wants to do a movie. I'm not sure... I'm very just a regular movie with reenactments and stuff. I don't believe it to be a documentary, but he was on the project in Australia, which... First and foremost, the project is the biggest piece of fucking shit reporting that has ever existed. He was on there trying to obviously promote what he's doing, as most people would do. You do your media circuits when you've got a movie coming out. I'm not sure if he's actually filmed it or not yet, but...
Probably not.
Yeah. Now, this is as sarcastic as I can get. The magnificent Wali Ali, who I genuinely think is a complete and utter tosser, and should not have a career in reporting at all. Shouldn't even be on TV.
That's beside the point right now.
Yeah. He just basically, when this guy was trying to put his point across that, not everything is as it seems, he didn't have a trial, Wali Ali just yelled and screamed over the top of him to shut him up. And then the producers and the editors got together and they cut this interview up into a way that this guy looked like a complete dick. Like, he just looked like a loser, and that's just the way that the mainstream media work. Is if it doesn't fit their agenda, they're going to completely and utterly distort it, and that's not a conspiracy theory. That's fact.
Yeah. So
Isaac Butterfield, the Buttsman, a great Aussie comedian, was taking the piss out of New Zealand comedian taking the piss out of him. He went on the project in New Zealand, and he actually did a video about he was watching his interview, and what he was actually saying. He'd say it on the project, and then he'd talk about what it was that he was saying, and you could just see the vast difference between the way it looked and then him actually saying it.
Yeah.
And that's just the way the media works, is that they just completely and utterly distort everything. So, yeah, Martin Bryant, I believe, is innocent.
Yeah. I mean, I remember seeing his confession on A Current Affair, just a
Like 2 years ago
crap
now.
hole news program that just report absolute twaddle. But yeah, it seemed so rehearsed and fucked up, and like he had no idea what he was talking about. And it did seem like they were questioning a child.
Yeah,
like
they were. Essentially, they were questioning a child.
And you just look at the poor guy and you're like, yeah, you did not do this. But you are going away for the rest of your life.
Well, he's doing, I believe, 35 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. He's in
life
prison.
sentence in Australia is like 25 years, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
He's never getting out, basically.
Oh, I know that, but I'm just trying to
Yeah.
think of how much that actually is. That is so fucking long.
Yeah. So he was this tall, skinny, long blonde hair guy when all this happened in '96, and now you're hard pressed to try and find a photo, but I'll see if I can find one. Now he is bald. He weighed up to about 160 kilos.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, prison's completely and utterly destroyed him.
Didn't know you could get that fat on prison food.
Right, yeah. A lot of people get really, really super fat on when they go to prison. They get locked up. So
Suppose carbs are cheap. We know all about that.
yeah, that's the truth.
When you got to feed the masses.
It's all about that ramen noodle. So
even prisoners get bread.
It's true. Yeah, so I believe that they need to have the, what do they call it? The coronial inquest.
Yeah.
And they need to actually look at what happened properly.
They never will.
No, they won't. It will never happen. John Howard has a hell of a lot to answer for. Because it was, his government. He was only in power for about 6 weeks when this happened as well. So, and I believe George Bush quoted John Howard as reliable.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah. Yeah, we know that George Bush and John Howard had a very close relationship when they were each in power. So, yeah.
Good on them. They're both as bad as each other.
Except Johnny has those incredible eyebrows.
Yeah, Captain Eyebrows.
And he had a good sense of humour as well, I'll be honest. Chase's War and everything really gave him a fair bit of shit, and he copped it on the chin.
Yeah.
He never got angry with them or anything. He just went, "Oh, you guys."
He was the power walking one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they used to catch up with him all the time on his power walks.
Yeah, because some dude, I think, had like a screwdriver or a crowbar or something,
Yeah, I
and
remember
ran
that.
up to him and gave him a hug, and the chasers went, "What the hell can we hold?" and still get a hug from him, and they had like chainsaws and shit.
Yes, I remember that now.
Yeah, so yeah, Johnny's got a lot to answer for, and Tim Fisher and everyone that was in power back then has a hell of a lot to answer for about the Martin Bryant case here, because he should be out. He should not be inside. He should be out, and that's going to piss off a lot of people. If anyone who lost someone during that, if anyone from there hears this, like they obviously were caught up in a horrible time in Australian history. and we're not trying to deter from this atrocity that happened. I'm just saying it wasn't Martin.
And as much as it was an absolute tragedy that many people and those people had to die for all this to happen, I am so glad that the gun laws were changed in this country.
Yeah.
So unbelievably thankful.
Yeah, definitely. I just think that I wish the government just went, you know what? We don't want a massacre to happen in our country. We're going to change gun laws and just cop it on the chin.
They're the ones in power. They're the ones who hold the power.
Yeah,
you go, no, I'm bigger than you. I'm changing it.
Yeah,
and we just go, okay.
Yeah, they make the decisions for us, and we may not like the decisions, but ultimately they're supposed to be making these decisions to better the country, and making gun laws and restrictions upon gun laws betters the country.
Oh, definitely.
And
definitely, 100%.
Yeah, they should have just gone, okay, let's take away all fully automatic and semi-automatic weapons because they're stupid. You do not need them. And then put in the 28-day waiting period on getting a gun. And the only you need a very, very, very valid reason to own a fully or semi-automatic weapon. And self-defense, it's put in legislation, self-defense is not a valid reason for owning a weapon like
Mate,
that.
you got fists. Have a fight.
Yeah, you got a knife.
Punch it out. No knives. No knives. Punch it out.
Yeah, look. This is
Not that I condone fighting. I hate violence, but
there is
I'd rather you punch someone than shoot someone.
Yeah. Well, you shoot someone, you get super pissed off, and you just grab a gun and you go bang, they're dead. And then you
can't take that back.
No take backsies on that.
But if you punch someone, you can be like, shit, sorry, man. Didn't mean to make your lip bleed.
Yeah. You punch someone, you might break their nose.
Got a bit frustrated.
Yeah, they punch you back. You go down to the pub, you have a beer, and away you go. You shoot someone, they're dead, and you're in prison for the rest of your life. Well, maybe. But this is going on for a while now. We could probably keep going on and on and on. But we shan't, because it's very late now.
And I have work in the morning.
So, and I've now got to try and edit this very quickly and have it ready to go up by 9 a.m.
Sus, guys.
So with that, we are off. Next week, we have a very, very interesting theme that we've chosen. We're going back to true crime. We're going back to murder. Moira. And Moira of the famous variety. Celebrities that have committed murder. So they're not famous for murder. They were famous beforehand. They were celebrities and then committed murder.
We're not doing OJ.
No OJ. Definitely not. So I've already decided on mine. I know what I'm going to be doing next week. And all I'm going to say about this particular case is that it completely shook my friend group because we were at school and we were massive wrestling fans.
So on that note, guys, share, like, follow, everything, tweet.
Yeah, Twitter.
Whatever.
Twitter at Podcast Tangents, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube at Twisted Tangents Podcast. Obviously, Audio Boom at Twisted Tangents Podcast. That's the main place that you can listen to us. That helps us out the most. And until next week, my name's Tom.
And I'm Bonnie.
Have yourself a good night.